There's something out there waiting for us. And it ain't no man.
Don't you even know how to be a real Indian?
Well, sometimes they have to kill us. They have to kill us. Because they can't break our spirit.
They can't break our spirit. That's what the man said. Hey everybody, it's Ian. It's time for another episode of Native Film Talk. And it has been a while. It's been a while, hasn't it? And it feels so good to be back. Hats off to my wife. My wife was like, Ian, you've had people write into the show. You've had people tell you, can't wait for your next episode. And, you know, I've been consumed with work. Got a new job, got a promotion. So that's awesome. But unfortunately with that is a lot of stress. We also have a 1-year-old in the house, soon to be 1-year-old. And a litany of excuses as to why I did not make another episode. So here I am. My wife decided to just say, Ian, lock yourself in that office. Don't come out until you finished an episode. So here I am. So thank you, wife. Thank you, everyone who's been writing into the show and saying that you loved it. November came and gone. We had really good numbers in November because of, it's Native Month. And we get propped up on different platforms as who are the Native creators out there, Native podcast creators, Native podcasts, and Native Film Talk got brought up. And I got some new listeners. So those of you that are new to the show, thank you for supporting the show. Those of you that are not new to the show and have been supporting despite my hiatus, thank you so much for that as well. And I teased this revamping of the Rez Dogs deep dive, and I just didn't do it. So I apologize, but here we go. I did get an upgrade in equipment, got a new mixer. I can play sounds now. I can actually do it, and I just have not had the chance to do it until now. So today we're going to talk about Rez Dogs episode 1 and episode 2, and I'm not going to do all of them like that. I just combined these two episodes because they're basically one long episode. They go together so well. And I just wanted to make sure I captured both of them. And with that, I'm going to play a clip, and then we'll get started. This is the beginning of episode 1. Just to set the stage for what we talk about.
Hope you're doing good. Just floating around in space. Yep, things been real messed up around here. There's a tornado in town. Uncle Brownie stopped it, though. He's been right acting up ever since.
Can you see me? Bark if you can. Ah! Ah!
My dad's OCD, he's on X Games mode. Losing his socks, his favorite mug, his keys. Thinks the little people are fucking with him.
Damn stupid Butchkachi.
Okay, that I'm actually not surprised about. I'm not gonna bullshit. But
Perso talks to that spirit with the hard nips.
I don't even know what the fuck you're doing here. You're just picking on me and shit, man.
Cheese has been spending a lot of time with his Uncle Charlie, which I guess is good. The tornado winds picked up someone's horse and dropped it off at Kenny Boy's.
Welcome to Burgle Cut Salvage.
She's so beautiful.
And now he thinks freaking creator gifted it to him.
You're ours now. And we're yours.
Big's still going on about his Bigfoot and cactus heads. Buggy's been having problems with that Stahekti lady, for huge. Mose and Miko got their bikes hustled.
I better not find out who took it. Send them to the spirit world.
They're on foot now.
Let's ride. We can't even ride.
And Elora left with that bitch Jackie. She's like her sworn enemy now. Fuck.
All right. So that's where we last left off.
I think it's all my fault.
And with that curse that Willie Jack is talking about, we left off on season 1. Gave that piece of hair to, I don't know, that random white person at the bar. So now that's what the whole episode 1 and 2, titled The Curse and Run, are really about, is trying to unravel the curse, trying to figure out where we last left off with the characters. There's no indication given for how much time has elapsed from the season 1 and the beginning of season 2. But what we do find out is Elora and Jackie are on their way to Cali. And they don't make it because they got that grandma-ass ride. They got that resi ride that's just unreliable. So, of course, they're not going to make it. And I had suspicions of that as soon as did everybody. Like, that's the ride they're going to take to California. And they don't make it that far. And so when we're following their story, they die out on the side of the road. They have to resort to hitchhiking. They get picked up by this creepy dude, Victor, with the glasses. And they lie to him, telling him their names are Janet and Jackson. And then he goes down this seedy road trying to, basically turn this into a MMIW, like a missing murdered indigenous woman case. Who knows what this guy's going to do? He didn't have any weapons that we knew of. He may have had weapons. I'm not sure. But and Elora and Jackie just kicked the shit out of this dude and, stab him with that switchblade they bought at a gas station. And I just want to pick apart that, take a moment to talk about that scene. I really enjoyed that part because that is the tenacity of Native women right there in that scene. When Elora and Jackie are on the run, the beginning of their on the run, to kick that off, I mean, they get thrown out in the middle of nowhere by this guy that picked him up, Victor. And who knows what he was going to try to do or take them or where he was going to take them. But immediately they were like, he's taking us down this weird place. And she's like, I'm going to kick the shit out of you if you don't pull over. And he doesn't. He doesn't oblige. And, for their own protection, they defend themselves. And Native women are mean. They're ferocious. They have the ability to protect themselves, but they are never shown that way in film. They're never shown that way. There's very few instances where Native women are shown in ways that are close to reality, which is strong as shit, strong as fuck, and can beat the shit out of you. And I know every person who knows a Native woman, at least one or two, that could definitely beat the shit out of you. And Elora and Jackie for sure could. And I'm glad that they showed this because, like I said, this isn't shown. There's no damsel in distress. There's no like, oh no, I wish there was a strong Native man. I wish Bear was here to protect us. I wish Cheese was here. I wish there was someone here to make this event not happen. And instead, Willie Jack and Elora, they handle it. They take care of themselves. Jackie buys a freaking switchblade. It's not a switchblade. She buys a butterfly knife from the gas station. I'm just like, yeah, I could fuck with this. I could use this later. And she does. She stabs the dude as they're in the vehicle. And, they're all shocked. It's not something that they're used to doing. And because they don't have their wits about them, they don't remember to grab their shit before they jump out of the ride. They're just like in a haste of just like fight or flight mode, and then they bounce. But I just appreciate that Reservation Dogs takes the time to demonstrate that strength, and that's not done very often. So kudos to Reservation Dogs. And then as we're going along too, just back to the rest of the gang, they're trying to reverse the curse. And what I really liked about that whole storyline of Willie Jack going around town trying to reverse the curse is it's very much a, what am I trying to say here? I like that it's not having to be explained. At no point is anyone like, are you sure curses are real? Or that shit's not real. Like, it's very much just accepted, which is why I love that they just immerse you into this Native community. It's like everybody knows this shit's real. When they go to Kim Guerrero, I can't remember the character's name, but the barber, that they got Jackie's hair from. They go to her and she's like, hey, we fucked up. Jackie, we need more hair so we can undo the curse. And she's like, what are you talking about? I don't sell people's hair. And the clients there are like, I didn't know she gives out hair. Like, I don't want people to gudging me, to curse me. And so I'm out. And at no point is anyone saying like, that shit's not real. That's not something we partake anymore. And that's what I love about this is it's so ingrained in the culture of like, we're not stopping to explain stuff to you. We're not stopping to deny reality. I mean, last season had Deer Woman in it. We have Deer Woman again in this season, and Rez Dogs is just all in with that, and you're along for the ride. Like, and I think what's difficult for me, why I took so long to do this season 2, is I wasn't blown away in the same way. I think in some ways, like the Antes episode, I was completely blown away. I can't wait to talk about that one. But it's so normal to me, and it's comfortable. It feels great that seeing this level of representation on television doesn't feel like, oh my God, it doesn't feel so bizarre now. Season 1 felt like an out-of-body experience because I couldn't believe that level of representation was happening. And now I've gotten used to it in season 2, and I just loved it. I just enjoyed watching it. I honestly didn't take the time to be a critic and analyst and looking at it from a native representation lens, because it's the first time I could just enjoy and unplug and not think about the gravity of the situation or the gravity of the representation or how accurate is this. I knew it was accurate as fuck, so I didn't have to question it. I knew it was accurate. And because it's like, it was so close to life, as we'll talk about later on in the later episodes, decolonization, when you have Amber Midthunder coming on as like this decolonization expert, and you're like taking jabs at these, I don't know, these like keyboard warrior Indians who are just all about, smash the patriarchy and decolonize your mind, decolonize this, and all about land back and like living in a city or, just like living on their phones, not taking any efforts to actually learn their language or learn more than the 3 phrases that they like cling to and recite like a freaking mantra on their social media page. And it's like all of those things are just so real that I didn't think to, like, no one wants to hear me talk about that. Like, for some reason in my head, I'm just like, no one wants to hear me talk about the reality. People want to hear me talk about, or I want to talk about stuff that's off base. I want to talk about things that are so outlandish and so misrepresented that that's what should be focused on. And then as I'm seeing more and more stuff come out, now it's popular. Now it's popular to be Indian. There's a lot of content coming out now with Dark Winds and, Rez Dogs season 2, and then Rutherford Falls being canceled. But then there's like other shows coming out. The English, there's like on Amazon Prime, there's a lot of stuff. And now I'm like watching Rez Dogs again, and I have an appreciation for it again. Because it's like, okay, there's other stuff that's out there that's not as good. This is the gold standard, so I should talk about it. And now I have an appreciation. Now I have a lens that makes sense to me to talk about. And going back to, long story, back to Willie Jack trying to reverse the curse, basically for 2 episodes. It's awesome. I love that. I love it. I love it. And then, Elora and Jackie, back to their story. They're trying to hijack a car after their altercation with Victor the Creepster, only to find like this like freaking Second Amendment redneck family that they stole or tried to steal a vehicle from. And what I really liked about it, and I'm going to play a clip from that one, is they get run down in a vehicle. They get run down in a vehicle, and it is freaking terrifying. It's how episode 1 ends. But Elora and Jackie tried to open a vehicle, or they snuck onto someone's property and were like, hey, you jacked a chip truck before. How hard is stealing a vehicle? And then they get busted. And then they get chased by this freaking truck that was like, this scene almost like when Forrest Gump is like running away from those guys in high school. And then also a mixture of like that and like Ahmaud Arbery. Like it just was too ominous to me. And this is that scene.
Hold up! Stop the truck! 1 little, 2 little, 3 little Indians. Come on, you little shit asses! Think you can take people's property? Damn it, fucking Indians! We don't want to shoot you, but we will!
Come on, get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, there we go. So that scene, one, I love that they do the 1 little, 2 little, 3 little Indians thing. And just as like they're freaking about to like take him out and shoot him. But just even that vigilante justice backwoods shit, you know, like that, this could have totally been an MMIW case where you get two runaway girls, quote unquote runaway girls, and they get abducted by Victor, or they get killed in some backwoods trying to make it back home by this redneck family, the Second Amendment gun-loving family who decides to take vigilante justice into their own hands. But they didn't. And this whole episode, why I grouped 1 and 2 together, is it's about redemption, but redemption through getting a break. It's like your mistakes in life do not define you. Mistakes do happen, no matter how much gravity is around those mistakes and how much consequence comes with those mistakes. You're entitled to a break every now and then. Entitled is the word I want to use because it's like it's a gift, and you need to do something with that gift. Like when somebody gives you a break, and do something with it. Don't just turn around and be a shit ass, basically, is what this whole episode 1 and 2 is talking about. And that's why I really like these 2 episodes. At first, I didn't like it very much, honestly, because it felt too much like, hurry up and get to the point. But after I watched it a few times, when Elora and Jackie go and they meet that really nice white woman, the divorced white woman, who wants to like run away with these girls, basically, and they end up stealing her truck. But like, that's a break for them. She didn't have to open her home for them. They were just, their last encounter with a white person was being shot at by shotguns. And now they encounter this really nice lady, opens her home, lets them into their house. They do take advantage in a nefarious way. They steal her truck in the middle of the night. But I was given no indication that she called the cops. She could have very much like said, hey, those 2 girls are runaways. I want my shit back. I want my vehicle back. And I want them persecuted to the highest extent of the law. But they're driving around a couple days in that truck, make it back to their hometown at the end of episode 2, and they never get the cops called on them. So they take that break and propels them through the rest of the season, and that like, hey, use this break and do something good with it. Don't be a shit ass. And back to I want to backtrack a bit to go to Uncle Brownie. Uncle Brownie is hilarious in this because he turned the tornado away in season 1, and now he starts to see the spirit. And this is one of my favorite things about season 2 is the expansion of the spirit verse. Like Dallas Goldtooth's character Spirit now can communicate with other people, and he has the ability to almost be like, he alludes to it that he has other clients, quote unquote, in season 1, but in this one, he actually does talk to other people other than Bear, and I really enjoy interactions with Dallas Goldtooth's character Spirit and Uncle Brownie because it's just legend. One, Gary Farmer is legendary in itself, but his character Brownie is this like pseudo wannabe elder, and Spirit is this like wannabe, like sage elder as well. And I really like how those two just clash, and they just basically like are riffing and throwing jokes at each other, and they're not taking each other seriously. It's very much like an elder relationship, and I love that. And I'm going to play this clip here with Brownie and Spirit.
Pray for you, Creator. Creator. Thank you for these sacred tater tots that my nephew, grandson, grandpa here has given me. Take care of his little heart like that and his cholesterol in that good way. Aho.
So does this mean I'm a holy man now?
Huh? No. You're not a holy man.
I think I must be.
You're not.
What was Crazy Horse like?
Crazy Horse? Man, he was something. He was pretty awesome. His eyes were like the thunder beams looking at you, Most people think a warrior means to be all macho like that, but no. Being a warrior means being in touch with your feminine side. And Crazy Horse, he did that. He was a true warrior, in touch with his man moon. Most people don't remember that we once had a man moon. Bleed once a month. Happened every sacred time for us. Crazy Horse was the last one of us to have a man moon. And then the white man took it from us. He had a gimpy leg, too. About a foot shorter. He just hobbled around everywhere. That's why he rode the horse all the time.
I don't think you knew him.
I mean, I didn't really know him. I mean, how do you really know somebody?
So I love that part. I cut it off right before the colonizer boobs line. I should have left that one in. But I love the banter between Uncle Brownie and Spirit this entire season. And this one in particular, one, because he's the sacred tater tots, and there's like so many insider jokes throughout this entire season 1 or episode 1, episode 2. You know, do not watch two dogs get stuck together, or otherwise you'll get pink eye. Like, I love all of these little just jokes that maybe not, like, non-native people will understand. But that's, I mean, going back to my feedback for season 1, it's just like, I love that they don't care. It's just like, this is our humor. This is who we are. This is what's real. And if you like it or don't like it, it doesn't matter, because this is closer to the truth than you've ever seen. And we're going to be more real than anything you've seen. And we're just going to keep layering it on, and until you stop us, basically, until you tell us, like, okay, show's over. And we're going to ride this thing till the wheels fall off. And I have so much respect for that, because there's stuff that is in this show that only certain people will pay attention to, but certain natives rather. And those natives like really like stand for this show now. And an example of that is the Oklahoma Freedman shirt. So while Elora and Jackie are going through their thing, you know, trying to make it back after the vehicle breaks down, Willie Jack and Cheese and Bear are trying to reverse the curse. But then, you know, Bear's in his feelings, eventually trying to find a job, just like trying to get a job. And he ends up at Rob and Cleo's. And what we learn when they're at Rob and Cleo's, one, is that they actually didn't get away with the chip truck murder, or the murder. Fucking Ian. Not the murder, the chip truck stealing. They didn't get away with it. It was all caught on camera. Rob and Cleo just decided, once again, story about breaks, to just give them a break and say, hey, do something with this. And when we sit down and he sits down across from Rob and Cleo in their shop, and Bear's like, you also give me a job. And then when we look at the shot of Cleo and Rob, Cleo is wearing an Oklahoma Freedman shirt. And for those of you that do not know, in episode, gosh, what was it? No use of me trying to remember the specific episodes right now. But in season 1, there was feedback on Twitter and Tumblr of like, where are the black natives in Rez Dogs? And it's not so much of like their lack of presence. It's like, hey, this is in Oklahoma. Like, there's the freedmen, like the Cree, the Chickasaw, the Cherokee. Like, you all have, like, these people have freedmen in these tribes where there are black people, there are black natives all throughout this land. But you're supposed to be telling a story in Oklahoma and in Oklahoma Indian country, and there are no black natives. What gives? What the fuck? And there are black natives like smattered in random background pieces, like background, like there are random black people in this native community, like in the background in season 1, but it's never specifically said like these people are natives. But to show that we're listening to you, to show, hey, we saw your feedback and point taken, we apologize, and moving forward, we're going to do better. One, they cut out Punkin Lusty's role because of, his anti-black tweets from years ago. So they got rid of his character. I mean, he's still in the in the show, but by mention only, not there in person. And on top of that, they put a Oklahoma Freedman shirt on Cleo to say that probably Cleo is an Oklahoma Freedman. You know, it's safe to assume that. But in season 2 or episode 2 of the second season, you jump right out and you address that. Like, that was awesome. I didn't see as much people clamoring to say, yay, good job. There's more people calling foul than they are celebrating the fact that that's there. But, that's just social media for you. That's just the way things go in Twitter. But what I really enjoyed about that is they're listening. Like the writers and the writers' room, they're listening. Like they're out there looking and probing to see like what are natives thinking about this? What do people actually think about reservation dogs? And they're sensitive to it. Like it shows that they're malleable. It shows that they want to get it right. It shows that, yes, well, this is our one shot and we're going to tell our story the way we want. Like they're also most sensitive to the voices of Native people. Like, hey, if you don't feel we're representing accurately, if you don't feel we're doing something that is actually going to be meaningful and going to positively impact people's self-esteem, Native people's self-esteem, let's get that shit right. And they did. Boom. Cleo, Oklahoma Freedman shirt. I loved it. And so let's play another clip from that Rob and Cleo's store scene, because that was really good. Because Miles, I believe is his name, he was the chip truck driver, the one that was getting mad, I guess. Not getting mad, but in a daydream getting mad at Bear because he had thought he knew it was him. And turns out he actually did.
Looking for work, huh?
Yeah, I'm looking for something.
Yeah, I've been there. Found anything yet? I know it was you and your friends that stole the truck.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Insurance covered the truck, and I got to keep my job and my foot. We don't need no more young folk in jail. It's easy to tear things down, but a lot harder to build them up. Consider this your one big break, because at the snap of a finger, your life could have taken a big turn. Bill.
Yeah, I love that. That's what episode 1 and 2 are just about. It's all about breaks and doing something with your break and paying it forward to the next generation. Not in a cheesy, I don't know, go on my wayward son. Go and climb that ladder, grandson. Go down that red road and that sacred way. Oh, kind of like how Spirit jokes around. Like that's that. Like just cookie cutter stereotype crap of like, you need to do it for your ancestors. Your ancestors will be proud of you. Like none of that shit. It's just like being realistic. And that's what I like about Rez Dogs is like, hey, you messed up. You for real messed up. Like you stole a truck. You stole shit. You tried to steal shit. Some of it you got away with. Some of it you're not going to. But eventually you need to get it right because you're going to run out of breaks. There's only so many breaks people get in life and do something with it. Like we see good in you, go do good. Spirit sees it in you. Rob and Cleo see it in you. And I love that we're building this relationship and this community that are about, this is how you support the youth. This is how you support the next generation by sometimes not turning them in, by sometimes just giving them the opportunity to say, okay, now we know that you know that we know. So now go do something. Now if you mess up, you're an adult. Like you're making an adult decision to mess up. You're not a kid anymore. Training wheels are gone. And I love that community rallying to support these kids. And then we catch up to, flashback to Jackie and Elora. They're out getting their vehicle back. And what I really liked is the amount of people that they're bringing into this show now. Because Jackie stops on their way back to town to go see her mom. And her mom, you suspect, is some kind of user. There's nothing laying out. There's no evidence of her actually using actively. But it's very clear that she's down and out and, sleep in the middle of the day. And it's not from work, that's for sure. At least that's the indication you get. And Jackie's there basically to get some gas money. And that's freaking Delana Studi. Delana Studi is Jackie's mom in that scene. I'm just like, holy crap, they're bringing out all the stops for this. And, gives her some money and then one of their buddies, Johnny Boy, outside, gives them a car tow dolly so they can tow Elora's car back to town. And then all is right. So everything's coming back together, and then going back to Willie Jack and Cheese, they managed to get Uncle Brownie and West Studi together to lift the curse. And what I really like about that too is just the Avengers level of, oh my God, when you have West Studi and Gary Farmer in the same scene together. And the fact that they're just like quibbling like brothers, I really enjoyed that. But I just still, even after every rewatch of this, it's like, how are West Studi and Gary Farmer, how has it been the last time that these two were on screen together was in Powwow Highway. Powwow Highway was, I want to say 1970. There's no way it was that old. Forgive me, I'm going to look this up real quick. Powwow Highway. What year was this? 1989. Jesus, Ian. Yeah, 1989. So 1989 was the last time that Gary Farmer and West Studi were on screen together. And even then, it wasn't for a long time. They weren't really interacting together like this. Philbert and Buff weren't going at it like they are in this show. But I love that they are. And they're both they both have history from when they were younger. And they both have brawled out when they were younger. And they both have like hardcore uncle haircuts when they were younger. And now they have this like history of like, no, he's full of shit. No, he's full of shit. And they come together to lift this curse. And I really like this scene. I'm just going to play it when they're lifting the curse.
Pray for you, Creator.
Oh, old warrior! Ah! What's he waving at? You tell them, the little bastards there, that this most sacredest of ceremonies is complete. That in that Red Road, Good Way, Cedar Path, Corn Pollen Way, that Sundance, Stomp Dance, Smoke Dance, Longhouse, Episcopal Way, that they, the little fuckers of the 7th generation, have vanquished those most powerful of curses.
Can we go now?
But the effects of it will linger on in their hearts until they deal with the guilt inside. You tell them that. Tell them to be good relatives. Take care of each other in that way.
Oh, yeah. She's gone. But you kids gotta stop being shitasses.
Hell. Close enough.
So I played the wrong clip, but I set it up wrong, I should say. But they were, the free falling scene when they're singing free falling to break the curse, and then after that is just what we heard when Spirit is basically telling them, hey, the curse is lifted. And I like that. Really, they take it back to the kids of just like, don't be shit asses. And shit ass is a term I'm not too familiar with. I didn't grow up hearing shit ass. In my community, like shit ass was just not something that was said a lot, but it does resonate now, and it does make a lot of sense. And it's okay to fuck up in life. It's okay to be a shit ass every now and then. And what I really like about this show is that it's TVMA, but kids are watching this. Younger, like everyone's showing up for this show. It's on Hulu, like it's available, and the younger generation is seeing this, and this is a positive message. This is, I'm jumping all over the place in terms of like my positives, negatives, but like this is a positive here. Is you're showing a message of it's okay to mess up. It's okay to like rely on other people. It's okay to get help. It's okay to receive help. It's okay to ask for help, and it's okay to expect help too. Not everybody's going to come out and help you, but in Native communities, like they'll look out for you, they'll help you out, but you gotta not be a shit ass. Just what he's saying, like get out of your own way. Stop being a little kid. Stop expecting that people owe you something, but be willing to help get and give back in return. And I think that's what the message of season 2 is. Like you got to give back. Like what does giving back look like? A part of that is maturing and finding your place in the community so you know how to give back, so you know what your skill set is, so you know how you can be most valuable to your community. And season 2, that's basically what it's about, is like figuring out where you are as a person, like figuring out your own crap so you can help out people. With Mabel, episode 4, going to the aunties, going to, the toward the end of the episode, the end of the season, like with the colonization, and then when Willie Jack goes to the prison and, you know, meets her ancestors, like all of those moments in season 2 are important to talk about. And I'm excited to get there with everybody, and I'm excited to talk about that. But, you know, let's focus on episode 1 and 2 real quick. Let me try to wrap this up. Is positives, once again, never thought I would ever see Gary Farmer and Wes Studi together like this. I thought it was going to be a one and done thing last season. I thought it was going to be short-lived, honestly. I thought it was going to be a few times, and then they jump right into it. Season 2, episode 1 and 2, like Gary Farmer and Wes Studi, boom, right there together. This is like my Avengers. Like, I don't think people can understand. I think if you're over 30, this is like, hey, is this real life? Like, how is this happening right now? This is my equivalent of like Cap catching, Thor's hammer. I didn't know this was possible. You know, like Powwow Highway was my one time. I'm like, man, if these two could ever get together, it's like Arnold Schwarzenegger and Stallone finally doing a movie together. To me, I'm just like, this is insane. How is this allowed? Another positive of episode 1 and 2, really just going back to, again, MMIW, like spinning that on its head of like, these are instances where if they didn't get their break, this could have been an MMIW thing. These women, Elora and Jackie, could have went missing. Either when they tried to steal the vehicle from the rednecks, that white lady could have called the cops on them, had some vigilante justice out in the middle of the woods. That lady could have sold them. She could have, tried to hurt them. She could have done something, but she was just a really nice person. And then, of course, Victor, the creepy dude, that could have been a MMIW story there for sure. But it wasn't. It just shows like the resilience of Native women, and I really like that they're showing the strength in this TV show. And then Rob and Cleo's, I got to address that again. Just Cleo being a freedman, that's a great thing. That's a great thing for sure. And then negatives, man, I don't got any negatives with this show right now. I got 0 right now. I don't have any negatives with episodes 1 and 2. I'm just happy that there is a season 2. And I couldn't believe that, like, when I was watching it, I'm just like, I can't believe I get to have this show. And this is now the final thoughts, is just, I'm so happy there's a season 2, and I'm so happy there's going to be a season 3. What I love about this show is it's me. It's like all of us. Like, we just vibe with this show so strong. I don't think I've ever felt like this about a show, where every single episode is unique, but I just connect with it so deeply, and I'm excited to talk about it now. Season 2, doing an episode breakdown like how I did season 1, at first seemed exhausting, and I didn't want to do it, if I'm being honest. And I think that's why I made so many excuses to not be doing this episode series, because I'm like, well, there's other stuff I could be doing. There's other stuff. And I just kept finding a way to push it away, because I'm like, nobody wants to hear that. Everyone's vibing with this show. Nobody wants to hear me talk about like just more good times. But it's not just that. It's like, why is this show so freaking good? And some of this is like, I didn't know you could do that. Like, when I get to episode 5, Aunties, cast a wide net about the Aunties, I didn't know you could do that. I didn't know that was possible. And I think that's what season 2 continues to do, is makes me think like, I didn't know you could do that. And I think that's what's so fun about this is, even things like Wes Studi reciting like string theory. Like, I'm going to play that right here.
String theory explains this. Every element of our bodies was made inside an exploding star. We just borrow stardust until we die, and then we return it for something else to use. We're like vibrating strings, notes of the cosmos, and each and every one of them have their own part of the song. You take away one part, that song changes, but the song never dies.
Like, I didn't know I needed that. Like, I didn't know that was at the end of episode 2. Wes Studi just having this. I almost wanted that to like start. I wanted Matthew McConaughey's Interstellar to be like starting to, narrate at that point. Like, it just was beautiful. Just like, I didn't know I needed that, but I did. And that's what this show gives me. It's like giving me all the medicine and the vitamins and nutrients I didn't know I was missing. And I've watched this whole season, I'd say twice now. And the second time was just, I knew stuff was coming, and so I could pay attention to more things. And I really appreciate that. And there's always more Easter eggs with this show. And this show is revolutionary for representation, and that's a given. But what I like about it too is like what makes me excited is the future of like what's our timeline going to be like now, what exactly is in store for us. And I think that is what's exciting to me right now, is there's a flood of native shit on like TV and movies right now. And it's like, what a time to be alive. What a time to be alive. We're finally being given the reins to control the narrative. That means there's going to be good stuff being written, bad stuff going to be written, like good directors are going to come, there's going to be like sellouts that are going to come out, but I'm really excited for this, It's exciting. Talk to you later.